As things get harder and as things progress, talent is only going to get you so far. You can't rely on it.
Was it 28x squared? No, it's 12x whole thing squared plus 16x whole thing squared. So you have to square 16 and 12. Yeah, and then add them together and then square root it. Makes sense?
The people who are not talented or who don't rely on talent, they normally rely just on pure hard work, which in this case is study, understand, practice again and again and again and again.
No, but hold on, it's not 20, is it? It's square root of 400x squared, that's L. So what would L be? 20x. The 20x is what you put in L. L is 20x. Do you get it? Yes.
As they get to the top, they'll realize that what got them to the top is not going to get them to the next stage, and they're going to put the work in, they're going to put the focus in, because they know that what they did before, now they have to double it, triple it, and that's a mentality, that's a habit, that's a lifestyle. So in today's video, I wanted to share some of my insights with talent versus hard work and why talent can only get you so far, but hard work can get you anywhere. Now, it goes without saying, if you are already talented at something, a skill, a subject, a sport, a music, you are already 2-3 steps ahead compared to everyone else. But the problem with relying on talent is that it becomes a very dangerous game, because you start to think that you are better than everyone else and your talent is going to get you to the next level. But that's not always the case. And in this video, I wanted to share 3 insights on what I've seen firsthand teaching students who are talented compared to students who don't rely on talent, and what the difference is and some of the things that I kind of saw that was interesting.
Okay, right. So let's do a bit more mixed exam questions. Can someone read out the last question I gave, or one of the questions, so I know which one I got it from?
What we did last week?
No, 3 weeks ago. 3 weeks will be helpful. I was being sarcastic. I didn't say 3. Last week, obviously. Well, you know why there's a pi?
Yeah.
Why?
What is the formula? First times pi.
Because the base is the same.
You'll see when you put it into the equation, the pi will cancel out. That's why they put it there. And it might look daunting. You might look at it and be like, oh my gosh, I can't do this. You're right, you can't do it. But doesn't mean you can't do it. You'll try and make it work. It's all about thinking and applying, that's all.
So what you do?
That's coffee.
What's the matter?
Why do you need to know that?
Bread.
It's not for me as well.
Who's it for?
For people outside as well. We share, because sharing is caring. Okay, so some of these questions is going to be a bit more challenging, but it's okay. Also, just so you know, Revision Masterclass, I'll start giving you the times and dates, yeah? So it's going to come soon as well. It'll just be 1 day, 4 hours, 20-minute break.
4 hours.
Yeah.
So it's 3 hours.
Yeah, but then I kind of changed my mind. I felt like I needed to give more of myself to you guys. Yeah, 20. It's enough to do a number 2 and then come back. You know, you can go Costa, Subway. I wouldn't say eat too much though, because if you are going to come back, last time I did that, people, you know, when you eat, you start getting tired because insulin hits, right? Insulin. Your insulin spikes. You don't do biology.
Yeah, but
You don't know what insulin is.
sugar.
What are they teaching you now?
The first insight I witnessed is that talent will make you lazy. Now, this doesn't mean that everyone who's talented or everyone who's good at something are lazy, but this is just from my experience and what I've seen. And I've seen that students that come to my maths class, they are good at what they do. They understand. Because they're able to pick up things very quickly and they know they're good at it, they end up becoming a bit more lazy. There's no urgency needed to put extra work in, because they can rely on that so-called talent in being able to get them to the next level. Now, that is not a problem. That is okay. As long as it gets you to the goal, no problem. But there is a very fine line that relying on something so much that you completely forget about everything else. Now, I've spoken to a lot of parents and said that, look, your child can do very, very well. But the problem is he or she is relying too much on their talent or them understanding it and thinking that they don't need to put much work in. And what that does, it gets them to become a bit more stale, a bit more lazy. They are relying on that one attribute that they have. As things get harder and as things progress, talent is only going to get you so far. You can't rely on it, because there are going to be many times that talent is not going to help you, where you are going to have to sit down and put the work in, where you're going to have to stay focused for a prolonged period of time. And this is where the danger comes in, because if you don't have those attributes from the beginning and you're relying just on talent, when the going gets tough and when things get hard, it's going to start overwhelming you, because at that point you're going to start realizing, okay, I don't understand how to do this, so I'm struggling with this. And now you don't have the attributes or the understanding of how you're going to maneuver to try and resolve this situation because you've been relying on your talent so much. So you can see that they lose an edge, they lose something that everyone has, which is hard work, consistency, effort, focus. And they didn't do any of those things, or they didn't do it as much as they should have because they relied on that one thing. On that aspect, what I would say and what I've said to the parents is don't get complacent. Don't let your child, or even when I speak to them, don't get complacent thinking that just because you got the grade, just because you understood something, that it's going to be like that forever or for anything else that you do. It doesn't work that way. Just as you can get here, you can go right down. It's very, like, it's a circle of life. You're not going to be at the top all the time. But when you get down, it's really about how do you manage that? How do you overcome that? How do you deal with that? And when you rely on something for so long, when you go down, you don't know how to deal with it. It makes people lazy. It makes them complacent because they don't need to put the work in. They don't need to put as much as the other person. But you have to also understand that just because you got talent doesn't mean you're going to stay at the top or reach the top every single time. The person who hasn't got the talent, who knows that they are not good enough, are going to probably put 10 times as much work as you are, and they are a lot more hungry to get to the top. So that is what you're competing with. And you have to understand that that person is not going to stop until they get there. And you have to think about it. When you're competing with a person like that, it becomes very difficult to win. They will win in the long run. You might win in the short term, but they will win in the long run because of that mentality and that mindset. And as they get to the top, they'll realize that what got them to the top is not going to get them to the next stage. And they're going to put the work in. They're going to put the focus in because they know that what they did before, now they have to double it, triple it. And that's a mentality, that's a habit, that's a lifestyle.
Because you guys were year 10 and then you came with the year 11. And you found that very difficult, isn't it? I think Rianch, you had a bit of tears in your eyes at the end because of the intensity of it. Nathan was just like, I don't even know what I'm doing here. I'll be literally going through every single exam question step by step by step. And the whole point of it is not to say, oh, I got 95%, oh, I'm so, no. It's to focus on, okay, I struggle on this, let me work on this, go and work on this, go and work on that. Gives you a bit, at the end, basically, you should have more confidence after the revision masterclass, except those three. Don't worry about them. That was quite intense. And the places will go soon. I'll be only putting this very limited because it can only probably fit here a certain amount. So once they go, they go. Okay, right, let's go. I'll write this and then I'll come over and check how people are doing. Anyone got an answer for one or?
Yeah, same.
What was it?
2,414.95.
Huh? No. Okay.
The second insight that I've witnessed is that the people who are not talented or who don't rely on talent, they normally rely just on pure hard work. They know that, okay, I'm not good enough in this subject, or I don't have the quick brain thinking or the connecting the dots as quick as this other person. What I can rely on is controlling my output, which in this case is work, study, understand, practice again and again and again and again. That is what I've noticed, and that's what they do. And it makes sense because when you know you're not good enough and you are self-aware, this is very important, you are self-aware and you know you're not good enough, and you're not kind of using the excuse that I'm not good enough, so I'm not going to put the work in. I'm talking about the people that they know they're not good enough, but they want to do something about it. Those people are true to themselves and they know that, okay, I'm going to have to put 5 times the work in. I'm going to have to put 10 times the work in. That is what is required for me to get to the level. They don't look at it as, oh, this is just not my playing field, and use those excuses that they're just naturally smart or they just got lucky to make themselves feel better. They take the responsibility head on and say, okay, I'm just going to have to sit down and put the work in. Those people, those students, they get very far because that's a form of taking responsibility. That's a form of, this is on me. I control what I can do, which in this case is my output, which in this case is my work, which in this case is my focus time, which in this case is practice after practice after practice. That's in my control. That doesn't require talent. I can't control how someone's brain is, how they are, genetically gifted. But what I can control is what I do on the playing field. And those students, there's a level of, how do I say this? There's a level of, it's an attitude that they have, and I think they grasped that very early on when they realized that they are not going to be able to compete with those people. But what they do in silence, is they just put the work in consistently in the shadows. But those people end up then getting better and better to the point that the people in the classroom will be like, whoa, this girl is really good at what she does. This guy's really good. And they start asking them the questions. But what the other people don't realize is those students put a lot of work outside. One thing I've seen with, when I teach students, I can see if they put the work in outside of my class when they come in, just from how they're able to answer my questions. If I ask them a question, how do they go about thinking? How do they, the speed in how they answer the question? I can see that. And those students put a lot of work at home, knowing that they need to bridge the gap compared to those other students.
So what is a volume? First, a third pi r squared h, right? What do we not have? They've given you the volume. So what's that? V pi, is it? A third pi. What's the radius?
Half of the diameter.
Which is what?
12.
X, isn't it? Times h.
12x squared.
Yeah. And what is h?
16x.
Okay. Now the problem is, I think we need to find x, isn't it? How can I find x? They've given you something else here. Curved surface area of cone is 2160 pi. So can I not say 2160 pi equals pi RL, right? I'm just equating it. Pi, what is R? 12x. Now what is L here? What do they refer to as L if it's a cone? Does anyone remember from a diagram perspective? If I have this as my cone, where would L be? This one, isn't it?
Yeah.
Isn't that what L is?
Yeah.
Okay, what's my height? Oh, what's my height?
60.
X. So if I was to translate this in a triangle like this is 12x, this is 16x, this is L. Can I find L?
Yes.
Using what? No, he sneezed 3 times there. It still hasn't beaten mine. Mine's 8 sneezes in one go. Okay, now you should know what to do. Find L using Pythagoras, right? And then once you do that, you'll get something in terms of X, right? Take that L and put it back in here. And then do reverse engineer it. I've given you like more than what needs to be done here. Now try and work your way from it, yeah? Was it 28x squared? No, it's 12x whole thing squared plus 16x whole thing squared. So you have to square 16 and 12. Yeah, and then add it. Does that make sense? It's 16x whole thing squared. So it's 16x times 16x, 256x squared. 12x times 12x, 144x squared. Add them together and then square root it. Make sense? Riansh! Stop. Put your phone away. No, but hold on. It's not 20, is it? It's square root of 400x squared. That's L. So what would L be? 20x. The 20x is what you put in, where is it? The pi or L here. L is 20x. Do you get it? Yes. If it's hard, good. Let this be a wake-up call for you, yeah? This is the things that you need to be doing if you haven't done so already. Let it hurt you. Let it make you feel uncomfortable. Let the anxiety kick in. Don't worry, there's a punchline that's coming, so I'm not trying to be all pessimistic. It's better that you go through this now than the mock exams coming up and then realizing, oh my gosh, I can't do this, and you fail or you don't get the grades that you need.
The third insight I've witnessed is that the students who are talented, they tend to not be as proactive as the ones who are not talented. And let me explain. When it comes to exams, the students that know that they need to put the work in, they are very proactive in how they go about organizing their study routines and the amount of hours that they need to do per week, per day. Whereas the talented people, they tend to leave things a bit more last minute because again, they rely on that talent to get them through. That's a very dangerous game that you're playing because you're relying on something that you think is gonna get you through, but you don't know that there could be obstacles and challenges along the way when you're trying to answer questions, understand the topic. And that's the thing that you have to be careful of. The ones who are not as talented, they know, okay, I'm gonna have to put hours and hours and hours, so let me be proactive about this. The students know that they have to put a lot of work in well in advance before the exams, so they know that they have to be proactive in their approach to be able to achieve this. When it comes to not understanding a question and getting it wrong, because they've always put the work in, they don't look at failure as oh my gosh, this is hard, I don't get it. They look at failure as, okay, I didn't understand this, let me try again, and again. Because remember, they've just been putting the hours and hours and hours of trying to understand this topic, this subject, this skill. So for them, when they get failure, it's just a feedback loop of, oh, I just went wrong here, okay, let me redo that again. Whereas a talented person, they will give up a lot quicker because they're not used to getting things wrong. They're not used to things being hard. And you can start to see the mindset shifts in both of these people. The talented person thinks that they will get everything right, or most of the things right, and most of the things are going to be understandable, and it's not going to be as hard as they thought. So they're not really paranoid or thinking about in a strategic way where, okay, what happens if I get something wrong? And they have to deal with those emotions. Whereas the person who's not talented knows that I'm going to fail again and again and again, and things are going to be hard. It's like they have those expectations and they know that's going to happen, but when that thing happens, it doesn't push them emotionally left and right because they knew this was going to happen and they're ready for it.
Does it give you the answer?
20,736.
20,000.
20,736. Look.
Anyone got that? What did you get? Number 6.
If it gives you that, it gives you that, yeah.
Okay, let's go. What's up, Serena? Intersect. Intersect means what? You equate them together, isn't it? You said that is equal to that, and then solve it. Okay, intersect. What does intersect mean? So you're going to solve them simultaneously, right? So you can just say all of that equals to 5 minus x, and then solve the equation. The wording is what confuses people, right? If you get the wording, that's all it is, the wording. Because if I was just to write it as a question itself, you'll know what to do. Yeah, do you need it? Okay, I'll come.
You speak to your girlfriend.
She needs it back.
I'm going to say it's because of you.
Someone dropped food off you and you gave it back.
I have my ways.
Explain even.
You got another copy.
Mysterious, isn't it? It's like a motivation, isn't it? Like first chances, second chances.
You should put the video of your birthday.
Oh, so you got girls in your Instagram comment.
Sorry, girls.
Yeah, your girlfriend's not really happy, is she?
If you watch my previous videos, you know that the students think I have a girlfriend, and this was another clip where they're trying to use anything to try and bring that back in. So you saw in that clip, one of the students checked out my Instagram and said, oh, someone commented, and then they're using that as, oh, your girlfriend commented. It's a joke, it's a banter, it's nothing serious, and I'm completely okay with it. But for some reason, they still don't believe when I say I don't have a girlfriend. I think in their mind, they want to believe that I have a girlfriend, so I just play along with it.
Yeah, she made a nice comment, so obviously I obliged to reply. What's wrong with that?
So first chance, but you have a picture of yourself in.
I'll put a picture of a dog next
No, I
time.
think-
Oh, he's copying. That's it, Nathan. Good, good. You should explain to him how it's done, how you do it. Don't copy. It's a bad example you're setting. And don't do so like you're about to rap. Just yeah, why, what's the hand gestures?
What's the equation to find the area of BC?
Half AB sine C.
When you talk about it, it comes up. But when you, no, seriously,
When I talk about it, it
when
comes
you talk
up.
about first chance, it comes up on your phone after.
Really?
Yeah, I don't follow it.
First chances, first chances, first chances. So now they'll come up to their phone, is it?
Yeah, phones have to listen then to for advertisement reasons.
Advert, what did you say? Advert what?
They need to listen.
No, what did you say? Advert what?
Advertisement.
Advertisement. Advertisement. Yeah. Anyone stuck?
So you have to read, you have to do shift close.
Yes, to find the angle. So, right? You can use sine rule to find theta because you know this angle then will be 180 minus that, right? Once you got the angle, you can find this length. Because then you got these two lengths and the angle and then half AB sine C. Yeah, so you can find this length first, isn't it? Cosine rule. Because you got this length, that angle, right? And then once you got that, find this angle here, 180. Did you get it? Yeah. But just do it step by step. It's a long question, just do it step by step. First cosine rule, then sine rule. And then the angle, okay? Might be a bit long, but that's the way you're gonna do it. The right a bit neater. Why is it all right neat? Where's it, Rianch?
You just copy the question.
Again. Okay, wow. You're just casually saying, hey, he's copying. Why don't you just explain to him? He will thank you later in life. Drew?
Yep.
Hi.
Hello.
Where are you on?
So you know when you talk to like someone online, why do you start shouting? Like,
I do that on purpose because either they're doing something else, so I need to shock them. It's a shock factor. I used to do that online during COVID because I know most people were just in their bed sleeping when put me on mute. See, no one speaks. This is the thing. I notice this pattern all the time. I don't know what it is, if it's God or on purpose. I will teach for like, what was it, 2 hour class or 1.5 hours? I'll teach everything, explain everything, go through the homework. I'll ask, what did you get? What did you get? No one answers. No one says much, right? I have to ask everyone. Explain everything. Everyone's quiet. Here's the questions. Great. And then the moment I need to get out, because I need to go and do a number one, so I don't understand this question. I'm like, you could have asked that question all this time when it was silent. The moment I get up to go to do there was a time where, actually no, I won't say.
Just say it.
Too much.
Say it.
There was a time where I needed a number two very badly. No, I didn't take the laptop. I hooked it up with my phone. So I put my phone on the side, did my number two, and if anyone asked, because I could visualize the question, I was like, okay, what question do you have? No, but the phone is there. I'm blipping on. I'm tapping it mute, and so when obviously it goes down, put it on mute.
While you're speaking,
Yeah,
it comes out.
I can control my bowels. Come on.
Is your camera off? Well, obviously.
Of course, this is off. Yeah. You know, when Mother Nature calls, Mother Nature calls. You can't do anything, you know?
So this was quite a funny joke during, when things were locked down and we had to, study at home or online studying. I used to remember when I was teaching online, and no one would say anything, right? No one would say anything when I'm explaining. Someone would just ask, okay, how to do this, fine, no problem. And as I'm giving them the questions, everyone's quiet and I'm asking, okay, is everyone okay? Is everyone understanding? No problem? Okay, fine. And everyone's quiet. And you have this level of quietness for like maybe 5, 10, maybe 15 minutes and people are doing the questions or maybe even sleeping, who knows? And then the moment I get up just to go to the toilet, the moment I go up because I need to go to the toilet, that's the moment someone unmutes say, so I don't understand the question. And I'm like, why out that time when I'm just about to leave to go to the toilet, you ask the question? And it happened every single time. I don't know what it was. I don't know why it happened at that time. But when I'm sitting down and I'm waiting for someone to ask a question, no one is asking. Everyone's quiet. I don't know if there was like a camera that was spying on me or whatever, but seriously, like every time I was just needing to go for number 1 or 2, the questions were just popping out. So that was what we were discussing in that clip.
So you know, at the last, like the old days, when it was icy, you fell down the stairs. Yeah.
No, it wasn't me.
It was so bad.
I think it was Nathan.
You couldn't sit down in your car. Wait, did you fall from like the top, like right at the top?
Like that, vibrations on both cheeks. So at least the force was spread out. Congrats. So what was it? Sine theta over 4.9 equals sine 80 over 5.66. Did you do that? I feel like time is going too fast. Should we do 2 hours? This angle, what did you use to find this angle?
I didn't find that one.
Why didn't you find that one?
But what I did was I split in the middle.
Oh my day, no. Why? No.
Because you don't, I can figure out the height.
No.
The 4 minus 9 80 and then just keep.
It's like me saying this, right? I've said it so many times, I feel like a broken record. It's like I ask you where your left ear is. Instead of you saying there, here, you're saying your left ear is like this. Alright? Your left ear is here, right? You don't need to split the triangle into, like, it's just literally there. You could just find the angle using cosine. Okay, what is it? If this is theta, what is it? Sine theta over what?
Oh wait, that's it. 4.9 over 5.7. Oh.
Sine theta over 4.9 equals sine 80 over 5.6. Cross multiply. This is like a simple homework question that we normally do before. So that's the length, DC. Get used to this. You need to get used to this. If you haven't done it, you need to get used to it. I'm gonna still keep going harder and harder. It's up to you whether you wanna go towards hard or just say, I can't do it, I give up. That is your choice.
So what is number 6?
I was just about to say my punchline. Oh, 6 is a trapezium.
So how come you need to find out theta?
How come you need to find theta? Because if I find this theta, then I can get this angle. If I get this angle, then I can find the extra length here to find half AB sine C for the triangle. That's why I need to find theta. Okay, we'll finish for today.
So I want to finish with this. If you are talented or if you're good at something, great. Embrace it. Make the most of it. Go tunnel vision in it and make sure you give that the best shot that you can. But don't just rely on talent thinking that that's going to get you anywhere. It will get you to certain places, great, but it's not always going to win. And most of the time, you're going to require to put a lot of focus, a lot of hard work, a lot of consistency, a lot of patience, and also being able to deal with rejections after rejections after rejections and failures after failures after failures. Don't rely on talent. Use it as a supplement, so that you can be ahead of everyone else if you need to be in that field and be the top of the top. But don't think that just the talent that you have is going to make you successful. Yes, if you see other people being successful based on their talent, they're anomalies. Not everyone is like that. The whole world is not like that. But if you can rely on things that you can control, which is your output, your consistency, and staying focused and being tunnel vision on what you want to achieve, then you can get anywhere.